Hello. So, a car discussion we were having today on our way to the grocery store. We were talking about why our program is successful. Um, because there are other programs around us that, and I'm not going to say those programs aren't successful, but everybody sort of looks at what we do as being uh, a more successful version of those programs. And there's the tendency for people who are outside of what we do to look at that and assume that there is a natural, uh, like the kids are more talented, or there's something in the water, or just the group that we have. Uh, but it's not that. And this is true of pretty much any success that you see out there. We work our butts off for that success. And we've been doing it for over 20 years. And that goes back to the whole thing about if you make it look easy when you practice and you're good at something and you make it look easy and it's not. And that's where we are. It's not easy. What we do is not easy. And I really appreciate everybody who's been coming to our shows this week and expressing their gratitude for the work that we put into it, because our families know how much work goes into it. The kids certainly know how much work goes into it. My daytime students who are just getting into this and just learning how to do this after 6 months of doing it now appreciate the amount of work. And that's one of the comments I get from first year kids a lot. About halfway into it, I had no idea how much work this takes, and it takes a tremendous amount of work. And that's true of anything that you want to be successful at. You look at any pro athlete, any college athlete, any high schooler who's getting into college, the amount of work that it takes to get into the program, to make that team, to make the cut for the practice squad for that professional league team. The amount of work it takes to make something look easy is the difference. And that's true of school, it's true of college, it's true of classes, um, and it's true of our program. It takes an insane amount of work. So I sat down to do the paperwork for our trip today. There's literally a stack of papers this large. It's all online, but I printed out the paperwork so that I could reference it while I was filling out the registration forms. Um, but to apply to the festival, we've been accepted. We filled out the paperwork. Um, Choosing a theater, we have to look at what theater we think we're going to fit into. We send all of our technical requirements, which are not skinny, and I'm sure actually we're not. I know we're not the most complicated show. We are. We're probably looking at some of the other shows that have been selected. Probably it looks to be potentially we might actually be the least complicated show technically. Uh, and those programs, just like us, they are there because they work their butts off. I'm not sure what other programs do. Our rehearsal schedule, we rehearse shows about 20 to 25 hours a week, and that's on top of the school day. And once we get into tech, it's more like 35, 40 hours a week. Um, so it's not a small amount of time to get the results that we put into it. The kids don't come preloaded. They are not. They're kids. Um, they are just as talented as any other kids anywhere, and we do have a large group of talented kids in Kenosha. That's for sure. But I don't think they're any more talented than kids anywhere. What we have in Kenosha that a lot of places don't have is a community that is dedicated to the arts. And I think actually that's probably primarily because they were so committed to the music programs for so long, like 50 years. The music programs here have been absolutely amazing. Bandorama, Choral Fest, Orchestra Fest bring in national conductors every year to work with students and put on this massive, massive performance. Choral Fest is next week, and my youngest will be performing in that. So we've been participating in that as parents for quite a long time. Eh, um, since our eldest was in choir, and the community really supports the arts here, and that's key. That's key, is getting the community to support what you do, and then your talent will come. I shouldn't say your talent will come. You will gain interest because the kids will come, and they will be successful, and then more people will come because success breeds success. And it isn't necessarily about how talented your kids are. It's about how hard they are willing to work to get what they want. It's true in art, it's true in music, it's true in theater, it's true in sports, it's true in business, it's true in any any of your chosen fields. If you work hard, it will happen, and it doesn't happen overnight. People think it happens overnight because you see that success. You don't see the buildup. But remember, the buildup is there. Whatever amazing person you are seeing on the screen, on the field, on the stage, you're listening to them. It didn't happen overnight. I promise you, they worked their butts off to get to that point. So, um, that is my talk for today. Longer than I anticipated. I was really thinking it was just going to be 2 minutes, but thank you so much for tuning in. And again, if you're in the neighborhood, Bridges of Madison County tonight and tomorrow, swing by, check out our website, KUSD Fine Arts, see if there's any tickets left. We might actually be sold out now that I'm thinking about it. Have a good one.